your name is being entered in for a Starbucks gift card here in a few minutes. So stay tuned. Okay, so let's go ahead and get moving. We are here today. We get to talk about author mindset and helping kids embrace this idea of being a creator. Alita, let's move to the next one. So I get to be here with you and just, yep, perfect. And I'm Susie. So my job has always been to help kids. And when I went to college, it was not to be an author. I never thought that I was going to be an author. My journey was always about clinical work with kids, supporting kids in the schools. And then I started a clinical practice and a nonprofit at the same time. I started doing books really to help connect kids. And then that bridged into kind of me being here today as the founder and CEO of Authorable, which is an organization that I built from scratch and I'm really proud of, where we get to take kids behind the scenes of book publishing. So I get to be here as a clinician who works and cares for kids, as an educator, and as someone who is in the book publishing world and gets to share that with kids. So, as part of Authorable, we really get to connect with the best teams around the country, but I'm in Central California, so I really love loving on all of our kiddos in California. And so when we have Dynamite Schools that we work with, it's a product of their site coordinator. And I happen to have a star site coordinator here with me today. So, one of our current book publishing cohorts that's happening is in Chula Vista. And so, Danielle is the site lead at, let's see, Alita, we can go to the slide that has Danielle on there. Um, when we have the chance to be work with like amazing people, we're kind of like, oh my gosh, this is great. And can you be part of some of these larger things that we're doing? And so I'd like to actively give Danielle a round of applause for being here as a site lead, to help facilitate and to be here for you. So Danielle, we're so
Oh
excited to
my
have you.
goodness, Susie. Now you made me super nervous. Now you made me super nervous. Happy Wednesday, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Yes, I am in Chula Vista, California. Um, I am at Valley Vista Elementary School. I'm a site lead for our district here in Chula Vista, and I'm happy to be here. Nice to meet all of you.
And one of the things I'm excited about having Danielle here is that anything that you're thinking as a program coordinator, a site lead, she has been in that same space doing that same thing. And so she's just a great resource to be able to hear and kind of validate all of the hard work that happens. Um, Alita, after you let Deb in, we'll go to that next one. And before we truly jump in, we want to say we're glad you're here. And all of us are here because we love helping kids. And with that, it can be really exhausting. And the jobs that we all do are really hard. And oh, yes. Welcome, Deb. So I just, more than anything, want to say thank you for the hard work you do and for the time and energy that you pour into kids. And so as we kind of explore this topic today, I am hoping that you'll have some kind of moments of inspiration for yourself, and then also you'll be walking away with fun things for your kids. All right, let's see. Let's go to our plan for today. Okay, so we get to explore a little bit about what do I mean by author mindset? We all know what an author does, but what does that mean when I'm saying we can embrace an author mindset? We're going to have an opportunity to create something together, to be able to reflect on it and what is it we want to take with us from this moment today back to our students. And then you get to leave with some amazing, they're like our copyrighted materials from Authorable, but I am going to give them to you directly so that you can use them with students. And so we'll have some time at the end for me to show you what those are and how you can use those to really embrace some of the things we're talking about today. All right. Now, let's go to that next one, Alita. Here's where I'd like us to start. And Danielle is going to paste a link in the chat. Your challenge is to click on the link.
Okay, let me
See
get
where it goes. See where it takes you. And I'd like for us to think right now, and we can picture the students that we work with. We can picture, a standout student. We can picture a student who needs support. And what is it that we would want them to know right now? And I'll bring all of this back together so that it doesn't feel so random. But I'd like for you to think, and I'm going to pull up the Miro board. So you should land on something that looks like this. If you zoom out, you'll see, some different things. Drop a yes in the chat if you were able to access this.
I was able to click on it, so I just want to be sure everybody else was able to. Oh, there we go. Yep, I see
Okay.
something. Great, thanks.
Very wonderful. Okay, so I even gave you some examples down here if you want to pick one. If you have not used Miro before, these are your post-its. And so you're going to pick one, post it, and add something.
So we'll be adding to frame one, right, Susie?
Yes,
So
thank you.
just put it on there. So let me
Yep.
see.
You can pick any color, you can post any place. Mm. Through some of the books that we do, these types of conversations come up often because really we're trying to help reinforce the things that are relevant for kids right now. So post-COVID, that looked a little bit different than what it is right now. Um, Sometimes in, where there's like uncertainty that's happening, those are things that we want to be really intentional about supporting and like you're safe and you're loved and it just depends what's happening and what is needed. I love the honesty of tired. Um,
Oh, that was
I think
that you, Deb. I thought I saw that. I love that. I hear you. Midweek, guys, we got it. Hi, Kayla. Welcome.
And Danielle, if you can prep our first list of names,
Okay.
anyone who is off camera or is on camera, I meant, is on camera and has added a post-it. That's going to be our first drawing for a Starbucks gift card.
Let me see here.
Susie, I have a question. I can't figure out how to zoom out and look at these post-it notes. I'm there. I see everybody's things moving,
Hmm.
but I can't I can't read anything else. I can't like zoom out or zoom in or whatever I need to do.
Are you able to see the kind of like navigational tools on the side right here?
Yes.
Okay. And what is happening if you click on that? Are you getting the color options?
See. Shapes and lines, sticky note, template.
Sticky note.
There
I'm
we
so
go.
glad that
Okay,
you
now I
came
can
up.
see the color options. But
Yep.
all I see is I see a bunch of little frames, frame one,
Mhm.
two, three, four, five.
Oh, yes. Okay. So you're in the right place. You just,
Just can't
um,
figure out how to make it work.
yes. So you're in the right place. I use my scroll pad to zoom in. Also, you can do, I believe, Control Plus, but you just need to get a little bit closer so that you can see.
Okay, thank you.
Is that helping?
I think so.
Robert had Robert had mentioned um,
Oh,
that it's the internet or the like it's blocking the
yeah.
website
The
for
bottom.
them at their school. So
Robert, if you have an answer that you feel comfortable sharing, you can do the group chat and Danielle can post it or I
yes,
can
I'll
post it.
catch it.
Or if you want to send it to us directly, like if you want to do a direct message to one of us, we can post it for you. That way you're still entered for this Starbucks gift card for everyone who's tired. And I think we can all relate. Caring. Oh, that's great. All right. Danielle, I got it. Thank you. I'm going to prep that. Okay. All right. So as these last few are added on, we're going to come back around to these and do a couple of things with this. But one of the things I want us to think about is those sweet kiddos that we get to work with, and sometimes they're not so sweet. Um, and sometimes they're in a great place, and sometimes they're not. Um, and that we get to be the ones that are kind of the safe people and someone they look forward to seeing. And so, again, just thank you for all the work you're doing. We'll come back to these. What I am going to do now, hold on real quick. You're all one large name right now, but go. Okay.
Suspense is killing me. Oh, like who is it gonna be?
Our first Starbucks gift card is going to, oh, Julissa was so close. Oh!
Kayla.
Thank you. I'm so excited. What a way to start the day.
That's so fun. Um, okay, so Danielle's going to get your email so we can send that to you. Helen, I really thought you had it. Um, and I'm sorry. That was very close. We'll have another one coming up. Okay. I'm going to take mine off of share. We can go back to our slide setup and the we have right after the UR, we have some pictures of kids that if I didn't have the Miro board up, I would have put those little faces up. Um, but we can go to what's an author mindset. Now, some of Danielle's kids prepped their ideas for us before we listened to their ideas and before we listened to my ideas on this. I would love to get your first thoughts and feel free to come off mute or if you feel more comfortable putting it in the chat. Um, what is it that kind of comes to mind when you think author? Because I have a guess, and it's kind of what I would probably go toward is like, what does an author do? What is an author mindset?
Sorry, Susie, which slide set do you want me to be on? I'm having
The one The one right before this is perfect.
This
Think,
one?
um, the one what's an author mindset?
That's exactly what I was going to say, Robert. You stole my idea.
You're too far, Alita. Come back to the right after you are. I think it's two slides after that.
Okay, the one with the kids with the pictures,
The
and then
one,
what is
that
an author
next
mindset?
one, yes, thank
Got
you.
it.
Yep.
Okay. Come, Ryan. Robert was exactly, he said exactly what I was going to say. Write books.
Mhm.
Yep, Tria too. Yes.
And I think one of the things that allows me to kind of embrace what an author does and have kind of a different perspective on it is that I didn't go into it to become an author. It was always about helping kids. And so that's what I think is really fun about our topic for today. They write their stories.
Creator, yeah. Definitely a voice for sure.
I always think of an author as someone who's good at English language arts, and being a math person, I shy away from that thought of writing a book or writing anything for that matter. So,
I completely agree. And I love that you brought that up because I think that a lot of our kids really reflect that same belief. Like, if I am not on grade level with ELA and writing, if I don't excel in those, then I have no business thinking of myself as an author. And so much that we do in school, specifically with writing, has to do with editing and punctuation and kind of like perfection, and it has to be this certain way that really it takes the creativity component out because it's like it's right or wrong. And really, when you think of storytelling, there's no right or wrong. It's about the story, it's about the process, it's about what you create. And so I think Deb, you hit the nail on the head on, kind of moving from perfection and this into creativity. And when we're thinking about an author mindset, how can we use that to really broaden our outlook for the work we're doing with kids and embracing creativity and bringing that into all kinds of different things that have nothing to do with writing, that have nothing to do with books, but just the idea of creating and what that opens up in terms of possibilities and for kids can be really exciting. Let's go to
How Tori said too, she said, oh, like someone that describes the world, right? So you're just, like you
beautiful.
said, storytelling, but it's like everybody sees things differently, what they experience and how they see it. And so being able to put that um, in a story on a paper and be able to share that. I love that.
Yes, that's such an important and neat perspective on it. And I find myself when I'm in kind of like a creative spur, um, I look at the world differently because I am paying attention to things. And, when we talk about being mindful and taking time to really look around and appreciate, for me, my author mindset is really paying attention to people and specifically with kids, because that's my whole world, but my own kids, the students that I work with, like what questions are they asking about the world? What questions are they asking about friendships? Just kind of like what things are happening in their world. And I really feel like books are a way that we can help facilitate the meaningful conversations that need to happen. And so I totally agree, Tori. I kind of like you described the world, but it also, as someone who has an author mindset, you're paying attention to the world a little bit differently too. And it kind of has a sense of imagination with it, that the world that you're observing is there, and what is it you're going to do with it? Like, what's that next step? What is that thing? Uh, Danielle, I think we should go ahead and show your adorable kids. And I would like to brag on Danielle's kids because when we had two question prompts, one was what's creativity and what is an author? And they had no preparation. And I was thinking Because Danielle, what grades are these kiddos?
So these are fourth graders today.
Okay.
These are fourth graders, yes. They
And
are, yeah.
uh,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just going to say that they are. I'm gonna like my humble brag is they're totally kids that have been part of Authorable because they like saw the bigger picture of things, which I thought, oh my gosh, that's such a win that they have this really broad perspective already. And not that I can totally own that, but I was like, oh, these kids. So, let's see, I forget, Alita, are you pulling that link up? Am I pulling that one up? Whatever you want.
For which one? For the video?
The video.
Yes, I
Mhm.
have it. I can share.
Okay. Oh, perfect.
Well,
Danielle, yeah, what were you going to say?
yes. So these guys, I'm about to brag on them a little bit. I'm sure we all brag on our kids. So I'm going to take that opportunity right now. These guys are creative thinkers. Um, they're not afraid to imagine. They're not afraid to be silly. And I love that. So if anything, they're teaching us as they go into this story and how they put it together. They're the ones that are kind of crossing the line of it. And, where I think sometimes we're so in the box and we're like, oh, it's got to be this way. And this is how the story should go and whatever. And so them bringing their creativity and just their ideas, they've got a lot of heart and
What
they've got a
is
lot of
being
questions. I'm sorry. Oh, anybody? Okay. So yeah, super excited. Love that you guys are here to hear them answer their questions. And they're super silly, which makes them even more fun. So
Are we ready?
Yes, please.
thank you.
Let me know if you can hear it okay. Just give me a thumbs up.
Being creative mean to you? Well, I think being creative is having a big imagination and doing a bunch of stuff differently from other people. Creativity for me means not not following everybody and being yourself, coming up with something new. Creativity is like imagining things with your mind. Like if you think of something, you should like write it down. You should think of characters. Write whatever comes to your mind.
And what does creativity like feel like?
Mm. Feels like you're just creating stuff, like you're building something. Like whatever you think you want to do, you can do it with creativity.
So in your mind, what does an author do?
Right?
What do you think an author does?
They write books and they have to practice a lot.
Okay, so what would be something that an author's really good at?
Practicing a lot and not giving up.
What do you think an author does?
I think that an author they comes up with ideas and shares them with people and tries to keep everyone on track, keep things together.
Nice. What do you think their strengths should be if they're an author?
Ideas, probably some, maybe positivity and focus.
What does being creative mean to you?
What I think being creative is
I love them.
They're so great. Well, and I love this picture. Whenever we have a professional photographer at our sites, I feel like it's impossible to get a good picture of me because I'm just like, no, let's have fun. I think, well, we were in the height of Zoom, which I'm glad we're not anymore. I had a collage of all of the terrible like screen grabs people had of me. And I used it as my backdrop for a while because I was like, this is just ridiculous. Like I'm but just embracing the things that aren't working is, I feel like, part of an author mindset. And so a couple of things that the kids said that I would love for us to just kind of hone in on a little bit when we think of, author mindset isn't about starting something and then like, okay, it has to be perfect and then we're done and then we move on with our life. An author mindset is really about creativity and about that process. And anyone that you've talked to that's written a book, will joke that the book wrote us. Like we are kind of shaped by the process of writing the book. And when we think about I don't, is anyone familiar with kind of like the infinite game versus the finite game and what that means? Um, but this is my clinical nerdy side coming out, but the infinite game is really about teaching kids and ourselves to enjoy the process of something. The infinite game is about like you have access to these ideas, these skills, this curiosity, creativity. It's something that you enjoy doing and you do it because you enjoy it versus a finite game is I'm doing it so it's done. And so many of the things that we even kind of categorize as play or games are really to get done. And so gamification of things is really kind of like, okay, well, I'm going to do this so I can get these points, and then I'm at this level, and then I've achieved that thing. So if we move from, what's our definition of what is success? Is it to, kind of like do a thing and finish it and productivity and this? Or is it to open up for kids? What is this idea of just the process of building something? And so when I think one of the little girls said, not following everybody. And what a great reminder that is that it doesn't always need to be in the box, that creativity comes from taking a step back and looking at things. One of them said coming up with something new, one of them said building something. And when I heard that, I immediately thought of, when there's a lot of uncertainty in the world, kids house that in different ways. And one of the gifts that we can give kids is that idea that you can build something that works against the thing that you're not liking right now. Like, here's your sense of control. You can build something, you can create something that has the feeling that you want, the things that are important to you. Um, and then I loved one of the whatever you think you can do it with creativity. And I feel like that should be kind of like our problem solving motto because it takes a lot, all of our jobs take so much creativity. And even if we're not thinking about it as an author mindset, we're being creative in how we're approaching problems with staff, problems with students, scheduling conflicts, things that get thrown out of whack. We're having to approach those with creativity. And then she mentioned positivity, and I thought it's, yes, in order to be creative, you have to be positive, to be kind of thinking about how could this turn out. Um, Danielle, is there anything along those lines before we shift? Actually, and Alita, will you go forward to two slides, I think, author mindset, and then it had, yeah. So this is kind of like my definition of if I needed to really capture what are we talking about, an author, it gets to like tune in, like what is important to me, and then let me be imaginative. And then instead of it being punctuation and editing, what if we just got silly with it and had fun and created something and that generally that then you get to share it. So in a book, you share the book, but there's so many other ways to share stories and to share that creative process. Yeah, Danielle, anything
Uh,
along those lines?
yeah, just you know, I love that within their group, being able to find these different ways of being creative and brainstorming those ideas. And then at the same time, thinking outside of the box. And I go back to, them teaching us certain things. We'd love to have that creative environment, but sometimes I think just because of, I don't know, things that we've already come across or, our own school lessons or our own experiences. And so it's so great to collaborate with them. And I love to hear those ideas. And also, too, to kind of, even though it may be silly at first, um, one of the activities, I don't know if we're going to talk about it today, but one of the activities of kind of like nothing is off limits as far as what this character can do, right? So it may seem so silly, but you know what? That's not silly right now. And so let's just go with it and let's build upon that, not getting stuck in that to do. Because sometimes I think we have this plan and this, lesson plan, but it's okay to go off track from that. And like, let's explore those ideas that you guys are talking about. Let's develop those characters. Let's talk about, okay, yeah, it's a girl, but what else about this girl? What does she like? What does she like to eat? What's her favorite ice cream flavor? You know, that type of thing, and just really building upon that. And I think that's where the kids, they really just grasp and just, by the end, it may have just been an hour, but they've really just built up this character, even though it's just the character, but there's so much to it. I love, love, love hearing all their ideas.
Mhm. And that leads us directly into kind of where we're headed next. Alita, I'm going to have you skip ahead on the slides to the one that says story elements and that says character setting problem. Because before we give out the take-home materials, we're going to spend some time just kind of being silly and doing these exact things. And yep, I think it's right after that. Yep, perfect. Yep, that's excellent. Um, so, like Danielle was saying, let's spend a few minutes and we're going to come up with a character. We're going to come up with a problem. We're going to come up with a solution. And the more outrageous, the better. So you can kind of put down your adult hat. And um, we have another prize that we're going to do during this for participation. It is a giant Crayola art case that has like all the different markers and colored pencils. And it's like one of those cases. And so you can give that to one of your classrooms. Okay, I am going to pull up the Miro board and Danielle, maybe post that link again. Thank you. Yeah, you're on it. Let's go down to section 3. Looks like some of the things got moved around on accident. That's okay. All right. So, section 3, creating our character. Let me move this up a little bit. Okay. Let me pull it up on screen share. Okay. So, what you're going to do is, let's see, we want someone to add in, and you can just log in and add something. So, add in this character's favorite candy, their favorite activity. It could be an indoor activity, an outdoor activity. A word here for her friends would describe her as some of her strengths. You can pull over here. These are very easy, just copy and paste kind of things. You can pull a personality trait, a quirk. Oh, loves to make slime. And it's really fun so you have a student activity that is really centered around this same thing of kind of the specificity of things and creating fun facts and really building out this character to be relatable, someone that you can picture, someone that, like isn't perfect. And so as of right now, let's see. We have a character who loves to go swimming. We have a character who loves to make slime. She always has a ponytail, can be pretty forgetful, lots of plushy keychains on her backpack. That one I added because it reminded me of my daughter and all of her friends that their backpack is like just has so many things on it. Ooh, loves eating gummy bears while juggling. Love that. Oh,
Just like imagining this person. Nobody actually even said it was a kid, but I'm just like thinking of this
yeah,
little
I'm like,
girl
what
who's like
is
juggling and, like writing and making slime and got that ponytail on. I love that.
Ooh, she likes to stay up past her bedtime. So continue to add here. And what I want you to start thinking about too, and if you've added something here and you're ready to kind of move on, we're going to create what is a problem. Now, one of the things we can do is come back to, I'm going to move our first one. Well, being tired, that's a problem. She might need to solve. Um, she might be feeling defeated. And so we need to figure out a way. This, can be kind of like how we're building out a theme for a relatable character is something that is real. Um, and this could be like a physical strength or a mental strength. Like maybe something happened and she's like, I can't do that anymore. I know I can't. And so we need to build up her, kind of like self-talk in this story. Um, what do we think her problem might be? And this could be super silly, like she keeps like dropping her things while she's juggling. Her unicycle skills really are not as good as she wants them to be. Um, ooh, can't get her pet to the vet. Yeah, so we have kind of a sense of urgency. We have some things that are maybe shining through in her character of I care about animals. I'll do whatever it takes. I have some persistence. And now I have this barrier with the loose shoelaces. Oh, yeah. What if the pet has to do with maybe her pet has chewed her shoelaces and she's eaten too many gummy bears? Oh,
I was going to say, yeah, definitely. I've got dogs. So, yes, chewing shoelaces or swallowing things, that could definitely be a problem.
okay. Sat on her best friend's toy and broke it. Oh no. Okay. So now pick whatever problem you want on here, and you're going to add some sort of solution. Now, solutions and stories usually are staggered. There's usually some that don't work, and then there's the one that does work. Or there's a solution, but then there's another problem that happens. And so, really, in story structure, there tend to be kind of like three problems that happen, all having different solutions, but they kind of start with the smallest, um, kind of like it doesn't matter as much. It's like the smallest thing. Um, Sometimes that is like in one of our hiking, like kind of adventure books, it was kind of like, okay, I have to get across this thing. So it's like actual tangible problem and I'm going to solve it. And then the next one's a little bit bigger because now she got to something and she's scared and she has to try to figure out mentally, how am I going to work through this to go to the next one? So let's see, a toothache. So, ooh, okay. So you know where we're headed is I'm going to ask for a volunteer to start us on our story. And this person might be the person that gets the Crayola art case. All right. If someone is willing and able, go ahead and come off mute and tell us, give us a snapshot of your character. It can include some of these. And then we're going to kind of like popcorn over to what the problem is.
I can go ahead and start with mines.
All right. Danielle, will you write down Robert's name that we're going to send him the Crayola art case?
Okay.
All right,
So
Robert, let's hear your character.
yeah, so my character is very curious. Like that's one of her personality traits. One of the things that one of her quirks is she always has a magnifying glass with her because she's always wants to investigate, always wants to find, like everything, like to a pinpoint detail. And one of her strengths is she's very inquisitive. But
Mhm.
in her one of her problems is she doesn't know how to say no and always wants to help everyone. And I think one of the solution for that, it's okay to put herself first and her well-being, because sometimes she overextends herself, and sometimes she can't help everybody as as helpful as she would want to be.
Mm. There are so many good layers to this story. Robert, I feel like you're telling a story about all of us.
Mm.
Like, I would say that most people here are inquisitive in the sense that we are always learning, and we're
Mhm.
learning from kids, we're learning from peers, we're learning from life experience, and that we continue to learn, and that it's really hard when you want to help everyone
Mhm.
to be putting yourself first and to check in on yourself and to not feel overextended. And one of the ways that you know that you built a really good character is if someone automatically relates to it. And it's not because we said you're like this character, but as we're describing this character, whether it's in words or through illustrations in a book, that the person who's listening to it is like, "Oh, that's like me." And so, A plus on your character development. A round
Thank
of
you.
applause for
Appreciate it.
Robert.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Let's see. Does anyone have a silly one that they would like to share a little bit about their character and what their outrageous problem is and what the solution could be? And also, you can tap in the rest of the team for solutions.
I
There
like
is
the
also
dentist one. The dentist and the gummy bears.
what was this? And has
So
to go
I
to the
can go.
dentist.
I was thinking,
Yeah.
so I'll put in the chat. I lived in Portland for a while, so there is actually this guy that rides around on a unicycle in a Darth Vader mask and a kilt and plays the bagpipes with flames coming out. So
Perfect.
I can totally see it. So I'm picturing her riding the unicycle, juggling and eating gummy bears. Um, and the problem is I went with the toothache. And I mean, as a parent, my suggestion would be like stop eating so many gummy bears, right? Um, But as a kid, I decided the solution would be that her tooth hurts because it's falling out. So her tooth comes out, she gets money from the tooth fairy and then uses that to buy more gummy bears.
Perfect. There
Oh
you
my
go. Your sponsor, gummy bears.
God, so good.
All the different gummy bear brands. That's awesome. That's super
That
fun.
that is so fun. Let me pull up. I know that I have it written down. Tori, let me double check that I have the right one. Ooh, you are getting a thing of sidewalk chalk, and that will go along with of the take-home materials. There's one that is so important to me. It's called Messages That Matter, and it is asking kids to do things to help kids around school feel seen and messages, and then they go out and um, so we're gonna send you some Crayola sidewalk chalk. We're not sponsored by Crayola. I wish we were. If anybody has any connections, go ahead and let them know we're repping for them. Um, but you will be all set then for that activity, and that will be really fun.
Thank you.
And you can say that it's because of unicycles and gummy bears, and Oh, um, okay, let's go to the take-home materials. So I am instead of us moving back to the slides, Alita, I'll take it and I'll show the materials that are coming that we will send out, and that way, if you have any questions. Okay. So the first thing that's in your bundle, and again, like you can't buy these anywhere. These are from our Authorable program. They are for the schools that we are taking them behind the scenes of book publishing. These are some of the activities. Um, I mean, it might be a little bit of like a, if you like this, you'll love Authorable, but um, so this is in the author world, we talk a lot about interviewing your character and coming up with some things. And it's really interesting. The first time I heard about this strategy, I was kind of like, that's silly because there isn't an answer. And then when you start doing it, like you're answering as, so if your students are doing this, they're coming up with any character that they're picturing and they're deciding, they're answering these questions. The fun facts are always really hilarious, and that's where you'll get like some of the, has had four, cavities because he likes to eat a lot of gummy bears, or, some of the things like always has a magnifying glass. Encouraging creativity here is really fun because sometimes character building sounds like just this boring, like, okay, is it a boy or a girl? Okay, so your girl, and now the setting. What's our setting? And so taking that and saying, okay, building a character is a little bit more than what they look like or these like very concrete features. It's about these things, and that leads into your story. This is a really easy one that you can do, and you can let them know that you got it directly from a best-selling children's book author and that she told you that's one of her strategies for building good characters. This one, the second one, is illustrator notes. And one of the things I love about this is it's real, like how it works. Like as an author, I have to describe to my illustrator what it is I'm imagining for my illustrator to be able to draw it. And so if the opening scene of a book, so we write illustrator notes. So it's kind of like we're writing the book, but then we have brackets and it's all in a, Google Doc. And we share it with our illustrator. And in the brackets, it's kind of like, okay, I'm picturing Ava and Charlie are kind of our recurring characters that happen in a lot of our books. I'm picturing Ava and Charlie walking. It's still morning, but it's sunny. We're going to do zoomed out so we can kind of get context for the landscape and where they are. But you have to describe it in a way that then your illustrator can sketch it. And then from there, it moves to line art and then final art and color and then publishing. But this activity, there will be part one. So say Robert is doing the first part. He's going to describe this doghouse and he's going to write, okay, it's as big as this. It's made of, I don't know, cardboard. It's the shape of this. Here's the color. Here's some details. I wanted to have like a nameplate that says this and it has like a bone on it or whatever. And then Robert's handing it off to Deb, and then Deb is drawing it based solely on what the description is. I also, because this one requires a little bit more guidance. I'm including the instructor guide. So if you're handing this off to one of your team members to do, it has the exact directions. It gives you examples here, some script. And then one of the things you can do is give some awards for the most creative, the most imaginative, the best team collaboration. It is hysterical what kids come up with as their descriptions and then what the drawings look like to represent those. So it's a really fun one to, again, just build on that idea of creativity and there's no right or wrong. It's like we get to create and build this. So, and again, you can let them know that my actual illustrator. So we have two lead illustrators for Authorable, and one is Dimitro, he lives in Ukraine, and one is Santiago. He has always lived in Argentina, and except right now he has a 10-month internship he's doing in Barcelona. And so like our team is like an international team and we get to come to kids, which makes it really fun. So they're coming from the real people. The third activity that you have the instructor guide. It doesn't require anything to print for students. So this is the sidewalk chalk one. And when we're doing this alongside one of our books, we're usually saying, like, how our character stepped up to help or needed to be seen in this moment, and a friend was there to recognize that and support. We made this one general enough to where you don't need to be part of Authorable in order to use it. But if you do this, send us some pictures of what your students do because when these come through in our email, I mean, I share them out with all of my team on Slack and I just time and time again, we're like, oh, this is the best. So, and for any of you that need to hear it, you're stronger than you think. Keep going. You're doing great. Okay, the fourth and final one. You do not need to print anything. This one is silly and community focused, and you will need balloons. So, in one of our stories, we talk a lot about helping others and how do you juggle that with kind of like yourself and all the other pieces that get thrown in. So, really, all of us, raise your hand if you know Keepy Uppy with the balloons and what that is. It's a very simple concept of the balloon goes up, and as a group, you try to keep it up. Keep it up. Now, in this version, it will be animals, like the community of animals, and you're introducing one and they keep it up, and you're introducing another one, and it kind of like keeps growing and growing. And then if you want to, you can add in what we call where is it at? Um, the disruptor. The disruptor is like the thing that you can't control that comes in and messes things up. That could be a political reference. That could be a storm. That could be, but just an outside influence that's coming in and it's taking all those things that you're trying to do as a community and it's working and it's disrupting it all. And so my suggestion is choose your disruptor, your student that's doing this wisely. It should be someone who has fun with it, and is not someone who's like, I am going to kill all these balloons because then the game will change.
Fun to be the disruptor sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we could be the disruptor too.
Right.
So these are the four activities and Alita, if we haven't in the chat, will you drop the material bundle link? Or Danielle, you can too. It will give you direct access. I have all of our like things off, meaning they're usually only available for our students, but I have all of those open. So it goes straight to our Google Drive folder. So I would download those today or this week because then they'll go back on kind of like lockdown for only our teams. But those are four activities that you have to take with you. Okay.
I also wanted to say just really quickly, like if um anybody, had questions about what the program looks like or kind of how to do it or whatever, I mean, I'm totally available to answer any questions because I think coming in, Susie's been great, but coming in, I was a little bit nervous. I was like, oh, what is this going to be like? And we've just had the best time with it. And so I want to tell anybody else that if you're thinking about it, like the kids are going to have a great time. The activities are really fun, and we're coming up on actually getting our books, and the kids are putting together their stories, and they're going to be um, actually finishing it up and putting it together. And we're getting our like book signing event together. It's a lot. It's super, super fun. So I highly encourage you to check it out and just have fun. Be creative, as Kalina says.
I I totally paid Danielle to say that. No.
Where's my Starbucks gift card? No, I'm just kidding.
Are you doing this for a Crayola art
I
case?
am. I want that sidewalk chalk.
Um, oh my gosh. So, yes, I'm realizing that, as much as, and all of this, the author mindset piece really aligns with all of the work that I do. So, this is a very genuine place for me to be sharing, just my outlook on creativity and how to support kids. And then here's some free things. Um, but yes, let me show those of you that so it kind of makes sense what Danielle was saying. So the kids actually like help us decide things as we're going. Let me see if I'll pull up one of them real quick. So like one of the first things they do is um, they get like a video message from me that says, "Okay, hey, we're about to decide our illustration style for this new book, and actually, I'm wondering if you can weigh in." And what I love about this approach is that it really values opinion and not writing skills. It's not saying, "Hey, are you good at writing and you want to write a book?" It's saying like, "Hey, do you have an opinion on this?" And our ESL kids, our kiddos that are, K1, we're looking at third to sixth grade, but our kids that are kind of like K1 reading levels, they all get to choose. So we just built a new book with Danielle's book cohort. And like she said, it's coming out. It's going to the publisher this week. Um, but I'll show you because they get to kind of like build all of those things and help us with the decisions in real time. And then we get to surprise them and let them know that they get to be the author of this book and that their words are so valuable. And so when the book comes, this is one from last spring, the kids handwrite their draft into the book, and then they have their author page and their dedication, and they get their published author certificate, and then have a book launch party at their site, and parents come and teachers come and celebrate them. And uh, it's fun because there's this like this thing that we get to celebrate. And it was actually as I was preparing for our workshop today, I was thinking after the first couple of years, I noticed, kids would come up and be like, "Oh my gosh, I want to be an author," which is of course wonderful. But I realized that really, I was kind of like, cool. The kids that came up that were like, "I didn't know I was going to be really good at this, but I am." I was like, that's the feeling. That's where it's at. Can I show you my artwork? Because our illustrators would do like directed draw about like how to draw these characters. And they're like, "Can I show you what I did?" I'm like, yes. That's the inspiration. That's the thing I want. That's what we're after. Do all kids need to grow up and be professional writers? No, I don't even consider myself a professional writer. I love ideas and I love sharing ideas. And so, if at the end of this process, kids are feeling like they got to tap into a cool experience and kind of like evolve their creativity and then be celebrated, like how cool is that? So, um, that just to give some context to oh, thanks, Danielle, for putting your email in there. Yeah, and if anyone, because we are going to start in March our school selection for next school year. And so we really usually we don't have like this year we closed it as 50, so 50 schools from around the country get to be involved as we're creating and publishing a new book. So um, if anyone wants either the video link to just kind of like see what it is or wants to set up a meeting with me, you guys will get kind of like first dibs since you're here. Um, Now, I know that we have kind of some wrap up stuff that we want to do. Let's go to the reflection part. Let me, Alita, do you see the slide that says reflecting? It's toward the end. I think that would be a perfect one to pull up.
I also just want to say that I wasn't sure what to expect in the program, and it's very driven with the kids in mind. So even though you have all the materials and you have the lessons, like Susie was saying, I can't even tell you how much they enjoy the activities, but also they can feel that they are not just there for an hour or an hour and 15 minutes. They are participating, they are making choices. And like she said, like having the voting, they love the voting and they love the games. And so I can't I mean, I need like, maybe like a couple of fireworks back here and just kind of expressing how much fun they have with it. So, yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Just like we do when we're making a book, we take time to look at the creative process. So I'd be curious, and I think we have one or two more. I think we at least have one more prize. Um, but I'd be curious, do you have any compliments for anyone on this team? Um, and I'm happy to start, but I don't want to steal people's compliments.
Well, I would like to say thank you to Daniela for being available for questions and helping us know what it's about because I had never heard of Authorable. I was just interested in learning about this. I saw, hey, what is an author mindset and joined it. So for you guys to go through and explain it all, I think you guys did a great job. And I love that you had us interactive, Susie. Thank you.
Oh, well, I appreciate you guys being interactive because as the kind of coordinator of a workshop, it's only as fun as the people are. And it's only as interactive as people are interacting. And so I really appreciate the vibe that all of you created. And I mean, this is the stuff I love. And one of the reasons that I built out Authorable was to be able to connect with kids and really kind of like see those proud faces, and then to connect with educators because all of us are doing hard work for the right reasons. And I end up being able to connect with so many great people who are doing amazing things. And I'm inspired by everyone that I get to work with. So thank you for being those people that are inspiring. I'd like to compliment Robert too for going first on that storytelling thing. That takes a lot of guts, and I don't think if tables were turned, I would have volunteered. So I love that you took the moment to do that, Robert. Um, what about anything that, and this could be on a lot of levels, like what made you think? So this might be for you as a person, like, gosh, I can be so structured with my lesson planning or scheduling that I kind of forget that this should be fun. And I'm going to allow myself to still run the schedule like it needs to run, but maybe I'm going to do a 5 minute where I'm allowing kind of just fun to happen, or kind of approaching it more of a playful mindset. Um, it might be something like, ooh, well, I can totally picture the sidewalk chalk thing, and I'm excited for what the kids will create. But what are your kind of takeaways, thoughts, ideas?
Part of me thinks it's really good to get the other people on your team on the same page because especially with after school care, there's more than just you. It's not a classroom setting.
Right.
So um it's very different. So it's about empowering those members of your team to take the bull by the horn and let them kind of develop their own creativity with the whole process.
Mhm. Do
Super
you
true.
want, Deb, I'm going to offer this to you if you want, but this is the book that I'm currently reading and I'm really loving it. But it's about how play shifts our thinking, inspires connection, and sparks creativity. Do you
I
want me
would
to
love
send
that.
you a copy of this?
Oh, well, thank you.
I'm going to send you a copy. Danielle, will you write down that we owe Deb a copy of the book? Thank you.
Will do.
I haven't like actually finished it, so I can't vouch for it. But I am really enjoying the content so far, and it's really highly aligned. So maybe you'll find some things there to take to your team.
One of the things that I think that it made me think about it, made me think during this too, is not just for authoring, for when they have to come up with ideas for, say, art projects or speeches or whatever they're doing. I love the creativity that we can get as a group think and brainstorming with things like that. Just as we were talking about it and doing it, I'm thinking, oh, we could use this with this, and we could use it with this, and our monthly packets, and just different things. So
You're exactly right. And that I'd say is a much more concise way to say what I think the author mindset is. But really kind of looking at any idea as an opportunity to brainstorm and think big. And that could be an art project, that could be a group project, that could be a science fair project, that could be something for Science Olympiad, that could be, like any of those things that they're all opportunities to come up with ideas and kind of like the traditional writer's block where it's like, okay, I have to do this thing. And the more you're kind of like going in, the more you're stuck and that no one wants that. And that could apply to a lot of things, like I'm really, I mean, like as a mom, like here's the things that I need my son to do that he's not doing. And then when I kind of come back out, I'm like, okay, really, I can do this in a more playful, fun way and look at this different. It just ends up being more fun for everyone. Um, Tria, would you like sidewalk chalk or a copy of the book or Starbucks?
I'm grateful for anything, but because I'm always about my kids, sidewalk chalk would be amazing.
Okay, you got it. Okay. Oh, and I love, so we have, and Robert, I don't know if you go by Robert or Roberto, so I apologize if I've said it wrong.
It's
Uh,
fine. I go by Robert.
Robert, okay. Um, So, reading what you have here, I do have some students who are very creative and have shared some stories that they have written to me. I think this would be a fun or a good segue to an intentional form of book writing. Yeah, and I would really be curious what they do with the character interview and the illustrator notes they can do. They don't need to do a doghouse. They could pick something else.
Mhm.
Um, and then it could be that they're using sidewalk chalk to kind of share the message of their story and that everybody belongs or, everyone has someone to lean on or whatever their story is about, or just creativity and fun. Kayla, seeing the adult staff be inspired by the students as much as we
Yeah,
get
on that note about like the stories that they have written, it seems like it's more about themselves and like the little issues that they like want to surpass. So I see it more as them basically writing them as themselves as a third person, as an extra or as another character and just trying to find the solutions to what they're going through. So I think it's a very good, like cool way that they themselves, like establish to like deal with those things that they encounter on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. And what a healthy way to work through that, right?
Yeah.
One of my very first books, I remember there was going to be one of the adults in it, kind of like came in to help with something. And one of the
Mm.
editors was like, are you kidding? In a children's book, the children are the hero. They solve all their own problems. You cannot have an adult come in and be the hero. Like, that's not
Hmm.
in their world. That's not what they need and want. They are the hero. So
Yeah.
I love that idea of facilitating, kind of like, how can this student be their own hero in their story? Kayla, seeing the adult staff be inspired, creating. Yeah. And, I always think, and I thought this as a clinician too, anytime that we're bored or over it or just in blah, our kids are too. And so if there's anything that can like spice up our day, it trickles down to kids. And if we're doing things to inspire kids, then it's gonna come back to us. Um, and I know we're at 11:14. Um, if anyone wants to email me, so my email, Alita, will you go to that very last slide? I think it has my email address on there. Um, but Susie at authorable.com, you are more than welcome to reach out to me if you want. We're going to save this chat and then go back and make sure we got everything. Feel free if you want me to reach out and schedule a meeting with you about kind of like, is this a good fit for your district or your site? You can put it in the chat and just put your email address and put meeting or video if you want the video. And I'll follow up with you. But I really appreciate everyone here. And yes, thanks, Roberto. Alita, is there a certain survey or something? I feel like CAN has something that they need us to do at the end. We haven't talked about that, but is there anything that they
We
need
will send
that?
something out to all the
Okay.
participants to fill out a survey at the end of the day. So we'll be good. And then we did record this. Sorry, I forgot to say that at the beginning. So this will be available for you to go back and rewatch if needed.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah, Trey, I'll reach out to you. This is the exact right time because this is when we start kind of interviewing and selecting. So this will be fun. Excellent. Tori, I'll reach out. Alita, I'd like to thank you for facilitating everything. There's a lot to juggle when you have lots of different things. And so, Alita, thank you for being available today. Uh, Danielle, thank you for carving out time in your schedule to be part of everything we're doing. Your team, your kids are always just so impressive, and what a gift to be able to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me. Nice to see everybody.
All right. And then
Roberto,
the other workshop rooms are open if anybody wanted to move into a new workshop.
excellent. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of today.
You.
Thank you,
Bye.
Susie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I'm
Yay.
gonna stop recording.